We've had conversations about rugby, conversations about golf, and now it's time to have a conversation about running, and this is for charity. And this is the L.A.P Marathon. It's a Daystar University Students Association initiative. Objectives: raise funds to support the educational needs of those students who are needy, promote environmental conservation, and promote mental health. And to have that conversation with me, I've got the chair of the L.A.P Half Marathon, Christine Okello, on my immediate left, and we have got the president of the Daystar University Students Association, Luis Sakento. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Let me start this conversation with you, Christine, and you can give us, the background and where the idea of having a half marathon. Actually, this L.A.P is Professor L.A.P Peter. It's named after the Vice Chancellor. Where did this come from, the idea of doing it?
So the idea of coming up with a marathon basically was the Students Association, Daystar University Students Association, came up with the idea after seeing that there are students amongst us who are struggling financially. And so we thought, what would be the best solution for this? So as a students' body, this is how the idea came about, to come up with something that would make an impact to the society at large also. And yes, that is how we came up with that.
There's that whole need to do it, putting now together the whole idea such that it can be accepted,
Yes.
trying to figure out where you're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
The key things that were in the discussions within the student body.
So one of the key things was, of course, now getting the VC on board. We have named the marathon after L.A.P Peter, who is our Vice Chancellor at Daystar University. So we thought about how would we make it impactful. And one of the first things we sat down and discussed is, you discussed the students that will require to come on board, coming up with a committee, coming up with the venue, the location, and the magnitude of the event, what will really require for that.
Well, and let me come to you, Luis Sakento. You are the president of this Daystar University Students Association. Way back in my younger years, I was involved one or another. I was the university's hockey captain, so so at least I know what used to happen then. And when you come together as an association to try get to know this student needs so much, besides the programs that may be in place, how you pick them out and make sure that they get their the fees paid, you get the fundraising, and use such initiatives to ensure that they don't have so many gaps throughout the 4 years that they're supposed to be in university.
Okay, so first of all, as Christina said, we decided to name this marathon after our Vice Chancellor, Professor L.A.P. And the main reason as to why we've named it that way is because he's the most philanthropic figure we have in the university. He himself has a scholarship fund, but we said we have to, student leadership in this country has to move from how can I help myself to how impactful we can be as student leaders throughout our tenures. So this half marathon is basically meant to raise funds for 3 categories: students living with disabilities, international students, because we have approximately 300 of them, and number 3, a DUSA scholarship fund. And we normally say, we clearly know that there is a scholarship fund in the university, but we as leaders, what can we do more as students, as young as we are, to try and support our fellow students and make sure at least they graduate as we are. Mm-hmm. So that's the whole concept. With the gaps that we're having, Vice Chancellor is doing a lot in the university in much as raising funds for students, but we're in touch with the finance offices to see how we can make this credible enough and be as accountable as we can be as we raise these funds.
All right, we'll be coming back to that because we've got to see how you're going to deal the athletic parts, see how you're raising funds for that. And we have got Christine Okello, the chairperson of the L.A.P Half Marathon, and we've got the president of the Daystar University Students Association, Luis Sakento. And Luis just gave us, a whole breakdown of how they identify, because this L.A.P Half Marathon is meant to raise funds for charity. 300 international students. There are those with disabilities and those who may be vulnerable, and how you identify them. Christine, let's talk about numbers involved here that would make this event successful so that you raise this amount of money that's required.
So we are looking at having approximately 2,000 participants, and they cut across. We have students who are going to be on board. We also have corporates who have signed up and decided to join the course. They've seen it's a worthy thing to do. We've also reached out to some government agencies in the Government of Youth and Sports, and also we have reached out to the Ministry of Environment. We are in talks with regards to that. So yes, we are hoping to have roughly 2,000 people from all walks of life, and now we are also calling upon the citizens to come and join the course.
What are the numbers you're looking at outside of the participants? And meeting number one, the organizational costs. Organizing a race for 2,000 people is not easy money. And number two, everyone will say, so it's a half marathon, prizes that may be involved.
Okay, so with regards to the costs, it's quite a lot. You know, hosting that number of people is a budget that is in the millions. Yeah, but of course now with the support that we are also getting from the corporates and all that, it's a bit manageable. So now to purchase a ticket, you can purchase a ticket for Daystarians. For the students, it is 1,500 Kenya shillings, and for non-Daystarians, it is Kenya shillings 2,000. So that for that you can get a T-shirt, and you also get a medal.
Well, that winning prize money. Or this is fully for charity? Because
this is for charity, but of course we are going to consider that, and we are, we've incorporated. There'll be tree planting. You'll take part in planting a tree when you win.
And let's talk about this because you're also bringing in the environmental factor here.
Yes.
That's an area that is where you start seeing it's really dry. It's on the leeward side, can be dusty, or if it rains, the rivers there flood proper. So what's the work being done to make sure that you've got enough green spaces there?
I presume that's
Yes.
at the river campus?
Yes, at the river campus.
Okay, so the river is a very dry place, but I don't know how you left it. But right now I can assure you, if you go to that place, it's green, and we'll make it more green. As far as we're here, and as far as we continue being Daystarians, we'll make it as green as possible. Actually, it's very different from the outskirts. But the campus itself, it's green. But we have spaces in there that we need to plant trees, as many trees as we can, to make it a very good environment for students to study. Yeah.
And looking at the area, and you want to have a half kilometer event. A half marathon events. So just give us the whole scope and the areas that you want to be involved in.
Okay, so it's a half marathon, that's 21 kilometers, but of course we have other portions. We have 10 kilometers and a 5 kilometers fun run. So because of visibility and because it's the first and inaugural event, we want to do it in the city. So it will start from Daystar Nairobi campus to Uhuru Park. So we'll make some circuits in Upper Hill, and the distances and the locations are well outlined in our maps, and so that's the whole scope of how it's going to be on ground.
And that is the 7th of
March.
7th of March.
Yes.
First Saturday.
First Saturday.
Yeah, first Saturday of
the month.
March.
Yeah.
Well, quite an interesting date. Just looking at it, because I know there's lots of events that will be happening around there.
Yeah.
And what kind of cooperation, Christine, have you received from the authorities in Nairobi? Because closing out roads, I have witnessed this, so that you have this event, then at times turns out to be, a little bit of chaos, so that everyone's aware of what's going on.
Oh, yes. So with regards to logistics, of course, we have reached out to the Nairobi City County in terms of the venue. And now security and coordinating the whole event, given the level of people who will be there, and also now just to ensure the safety of everyone, we have reached out to the Kenya Police. So we are in communication and in talks to ensure that the event is a success and it is carried out in a proper manner. Yes.
Athletics Kenya's involvement, because getting a distance right for a half marathon, that is, you have directly the right people to talk to is Athletics Kenya.
Yes.
Yes.
So with Athletics Kenya, I got a call today in the morning, and they're interested. You see, for us, this is the first marathon we're planning. So we have a lot to learn as students. But moving onwards, we're approaching everyone who can come in and support. So Athletics Kenya is amongst them, and you can be sure that we're going to have conversations with them soonest.
The office, you're working with the Nairobi branch, or we talk about the head office here?
I think Nairobi branch, because this is where the whole event is taking place. Yeah.
All right, one other thing is, we know Desta has grown in terms of sports. At the moment, your biggest brand right now is the Desta Falcons.
The rugby team.
The rugby team.
Yeah.
And Patrick Odongo.
Patrick Odongo.
So we've got to mention about that. What are you doing to encourage people to pick up sport for all the right reasons? Not just to be a competitive athlete, but to stay fit. If you're having stress with econometrics or whatever it is, you go run deep outside, within the large expanses that we have got here, and to foster that kind of camaraderie that we see, especially with recreational runners.
So one of the things we are doing about it is actually talk about it. For the longest time, people assume that running is for the elites, but there are many recreational runners, and also us, we have come to learn that actually it's very easy to run in this Nairobi or be fit. It's just you have to be intentional about it. There are also running clubs in Nairobi, and yeah, this is our first starting point actually, hosting a marathon.
So I think in regards to that, sports is more than just sports. And you've mentioned Patrick Odongo. He currently has a foundation, and I believe that foundation is doing the needful of helping people. So I take sports as something that can be very impactful in many generations, because with our own, already he's helping people. Patrick Odongo, he's a great sportsman.
Yes.
Truly great, one of our own, and we're very proud of him. So he has a foundation, and I believe so many people who come into sports, they automatically end up helping maybe their community where they've come from, or even their family, or even just Kenyans in general.
Well, very interesting. I'll be telling you about, just give you the story, something about Patrick Odongo. Are you amongst the people who bought the tickets for sevens? They're sold out, there are no tickets.
Yeah, we're there.
You're there?
Yeah. They're sold out.
They're sold out.
They're sold out?
Yeah.
No, you're the ones who bought them out.
Oh yeah, for a good cause.
For a good cause. All right, then, as we wind down this, we had the chair of the Kenya Rugby Union here earlier, and so, yeah, the sevens teams have been named. Let me just take you through them. Shuja, George Oro is going to be the co-captain alongside Samuel Asati. There's John Okoth, Dennis Abukuse, Vincent Onyala, Kevin Wekesa, Festus Shiasi, Nigel Maitsa, Floyd Wabwire, Crisanto Joang, David Nyangige, and Patrick Odongo. I know you are waiting.
Oh, yes.
You should have said that the first.
It should have been the first person.
No, lazima nipeleke. Your heart must go closer to the stomach. And for the Kenya Lionesses, Naomi Amuguni, Maureen Muritu, Sheila Chajiro is the captain, Sinaida Nyachio, Edith Nariaka, Janet Okello, Marvel Oswago, Fresh Dor is the vice captain. We've got Charity Nila, who is making her debut, Grace Okulu, Stella Wafula, and Phoebe Akinyi. The management is Simon Odongo as the head coach. Jeff Onyango is the strength and conditioning coach. TM is Kamlin Oyuayo. Levin Kitui is the physio, and alongside John Ellie. And for the men's team, let's take the management. Definitely, Kevin Wambua is leading the team alongside Louis Kisia, Andrew Amonde, Eric Ogweno, and Lamek Ogonko. So about the Shuja, we'll be giving you the full story in our subsequent bulletins. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Louise and Christine. 7th of March, join them, support them, and make sure that someone that does not miss out on education, and that is at the L.A.P. Daystar Half Marathon taking place in Nairobi.